Tonight, from the Shrine Exposition Center in Los Angeles, it's the 5th Annual American Comedy Awards.
I'm back!
You want to send a smutogram?
I want you.
God.
Snap out of it, will you?
Oh, be a man!
I am a real person. Well, I'm not trying to land him. I'm just using him for sex.
Life is good.
Hey, ludicrous. That's a pretty big wife.
Sort of loose stuff. What the heck is going on down there?
Men are pigs, right, women?
No, wait a minute.
Everybody's a winner.
Oh!
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Beatrice Arthur.
Good evening, and welcome to the 5th Annual American Comedy Awards. Whoever dreamed it would get this far? For 5 years, I have pursued the hopeless quest of trying to bring some taste, some class, some dignity to this otherwise shabby event. And I have failed miserably. However, tonight there is a faint glimmer of hope, because with me here to present the very first award is a talented young actor who in a very few short years has made a name for himself in our beloved show business, Mr. Jaleel White.
Good evening, Miss Arthur.
Good evening, Mr. White. Now, of course, your credits are pretty impressive, but many people know you best from your current role in Family Matters as Urkel the nerd.
Yes, and... Hi, B, wanna dance?
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the reason that ABC's stock soared 12 points in the last quarter.
Tonight you'll be seeing the biggest stars of rock and roll rap, MTV.
Wait. I think you forgot to take your nap today. This is not the music awards, this is the comedy awards.
Yeah, but every awards show must start with a dance number. So come on, get funky, get down.
Get down? I never get down. Because I might never get up.
Well, here, Miss Arthur. Take these glasses, they might help. Yeah, now don't you feel cool?
No, I feel like Bernard Shaw.
Well, crank up the music. It's time to do the Urkel. Bring out the Urkel.
Remember, you're dealing with an aging white woman here.
Too kindly now. Now, if you want to do the Steve Urkel dance, all you have to do is hitch up your pants, bend your knees, and stick out your pelvis. I'm telling you, baby, it's better than that.
try to touch that. Now, in the category Funniest Female Performer in a Television Special, the nominees are...
From Comic Relief 4, Whoopi Goldberg.
Ivana Trump, and I'm the only chick Donald ever bounced.
From Six Ladies Laughing, Andrea Martin.
These are some words that I learned from a yogi master. Or maybe it was on back of a Weight Watchers low-sodium fish meal, whatever it was.
From Cats, Cops, and Stuff, Paula Poundstone.
I checked in hotel the other day, and the woman behind the counter said to me, "Do you have a floor preference?" I go, "Yeah, I would like a floor."
From Evening with Friends of the Environment, Lily Tomlin.
I was a compulsive shopper, the worst kind. I would buy anything on the shelf at eye level. I would even buy day-old bread and fresh bread the same day.
From The Tonight Show's 28th anniversary, Kirstie Alley.
And the winner is Lily Tomlin in An Evening with Friends of the Environment.
Boy, you're really a cutie. Well, thanks a lot. This award is not for me, it's for Mrs. Beasley. And I know how thrilled she will be to receive it. She's somewhere on a freeway here trying to get here in an electric car. She's going to be dismayed to see how this is made out of polyurethane. But thank you all.
Tonight, the 5th Annual American Comedy Awards is brought to you by Sun Chips Multigrain Snacks. Good things happen when the sun comes out. And by Dodge. For performance, quality, safety, and value, welcome home, America. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Shelley Long.
I truly appreciate being asked to be a presenter at the 5th Annual American Comedy Awards. I've always felt that comedy is one of the most distinguished of all art forms. Although I've been privileged to work primarily as a comedy actor, I've always stood proudly in admiration of the men and women who work as comedians. And I would like to speak to them how disheartening it is to occasionally hear your detractors describe some of you as common, crass, uneducated. They don't see comedians like I do, cerebral. That means smart. And they don't see how clever you are, you know, one moment poking fun at the rich and the next moment poking fun at the downtrodden. That means poor. But your desire for buffoonery and bombast, comedy conceits and conundrums, jucundities and profundities, fill me with ennui. You're on your own with that one. Okay, in the category of Funniest Actor in a Motion Picture Lead, the nominees are, from The Freshman, Marlon Brando.
Ever try Italian coffee?
No.
How would you like to try a little taste?
Yeah, why not?
Sure.
No for me, calma.
Lorenzo, per favore, 2 espressi.
2 espressos, he says. Mm-hmm. You know, that picture on the wall back there, that wouldn't by any chance be Mussolini.
It ain't Tony Bennett.
From Home Alone, Macaulay Culkin.
I took a shower washing every body part with Astral soap, including all of my major crevices, including in between my toes and in my belly button, which I never did before but sort of enjoyed. I washed my hair with the Don't Formula shampoo and used cream rinse for that just wash shine. I can't seem to find my toothbrush, so I'll pick one up when I go out today. Other than that, I'm in good shape.
From Green Card, Gerard Depardieu.
She said go, okay? Who's this?
Go or I'll throw you out.
George, how dare you?
Bronte, talk to me. Who is
Get
this?
out, vegetarian.
Who the hell do you think you are?
George, no.
I'm the husband, that's who. Out.
Now, wait a minute.
Out.
Hey, you're the waiter from that restaurant.
Yes, out.
Hey, I don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna find out, pal.
Get out, carrot. Cucumber.
From Edward Scissorhands, Johnny Depp.
Now, don't you worry, kisses. You're going to be just fine, honey. You're going to be so pretty. Yes, you are. Oh, Eddie, is there anything you can't do? You take my very breath away. I swear, look at this.
From Cadillac Man, Robin Williams.
Larry, you don't have to push it through my back to kill me. It's a gun. Bullets come out, you know?
What's his name?
Chip.
Yeah, like from Charles. Chip.
Chip? That's a name for a squirrel. How about Charlie?
No, Charlie. That's a commie name.
Commie?
Yeah, like sounds Chinese.
How about Chuck? That's an all-American name.
Okay, Chuck.
Chuck, yeah.
Tell him Chuck. His name's Chuck. Tell me, go away.
You're doing good, Larry.
And the winner is Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone. Can we move that down for you? Watch me break it. Stand up there. His mother would do the same thing. No.
Oh, okay. I'd like to thank Keith Radine, Susan Selig, and Billy Hopkins for getting me started in all this. I'd like to thank Chris Columbus and all the guys that worked on Home Alone. And last but not least, John Hughes, which wrote this great script.
Ladies and gentlemen, Martin Mull and Fred Willie.
Thank you. Please, sit down.
Fred. No microphone.
It's over here.
Oh, they said to stand in the right spot.
Well, no, the correct spot, Fred. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, with your kind permission, we would very much like to discuss something of a serious nature here tonight.
And you are the perfect person to do that.
Well, by default. A lot has happened since Fernwood Tonight first came on the scene back in 1977.
They were aware of that fact. I was not.
Oh, really? Well, a lot has, Fred. For one thing, we had no idea that we were going to be, setting a trend that would be followed by so many of the talk shows of today.
Well, there is a difference, though, Martin. Our show is deliberately stupid.
Well, that's true. We were trying to get laughs, and little did we know that all we needed to do, really, to stay on the air was just go woof, 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 woof. Stupid us, we went to college.
Well, actually, we did that, if you recall, but we used real dogs.
That's true. Yes, we did. At any rate, comedy has changed a lot since those halcyon days. Back then, there were 50 comedy clubs in America and 50 funny comedians.
And now there are over 5,000 comedy clubs in America.
Right, and still about 50 funny comedians. The point I'm trying to make is that our country seems to be suffering from a comedy glut, really. It began with the Improv and the Comedy Store. Before we knew it, there was Giggles and Chuckles and Zanies.
And Footsies and Stitches and Snickers and Bonkers, and I could go on and on and on.
Yes, I'm sure you could, Fred.
And there was Happies and Sneezies and Grumpies and Louis Anderson's Big and Tall Comedy Barn.
Fred, please. Not counting right now, I've been very lucky in this industry. never really set out to be an entertainer. I was, quite frankly, just kind of aimlessly walking down that old sidewalk of life when I discovered that I'd accidentally stepped into show business.
Well,
and
Martin, I think everybody here will agree that your success is based on luck, but that's not the point we're trying to make.
Okay. Well, no.
If I may.
Yeah, be my guest.
All right. My point is, you plumbers, you cab drivers, you nurses, if you're thinking about getting into comedy, we beg you, don't. Especially the farmers. You farmers out there, think about it. A farmer doesn't have to plow his field real good at 3 o'clock in the morning for a woman named Mitzi sharing a tiny, what would you call it? A tiny dressing room with a troupe of comedy jugglers, half of whom don't even speak English.
Fred, look. Folks, if you've got 5 minutes of material, just do it for your neighbors, your friends, and your family, okay? No matter how hilarious it is, stay home.
And if it's really hilarious, send it to me.
Right. Well put, Fred. Our next two awards here are the result of ballots sent to over 200 comedy clubs around the country for the patrons to vote on their favorite stand-up comics working in the clubs today.
Over 200,000 were distributed, and now for the results of the voting in the category Favorite Comedy Club Stand-Up Male.
The nominees are
Tim Allen.
Every woman knows how to do the weirdest thing right out of the bucket, boy. Every woman knows how to do that Hindu head wrap with a towel out of the shower.
Will Durst.
We have an invisible airplane. Why do we bother building it? Why don't we just tell the Russians there's thousands of them and they're everywhere?
Bill Hicks.
3 rednecks met me after the show. Hey, buddy, we're Christians. We don't like what you said. I said, then forgive me.
Richard Jenny.
I go over people's houses now and light up a cigarette. They are just devastated. They have a look of, my God. Why don't you just relieve yourself on the children while you're at it?
Dennis Wolfberg.
Were we to have had a girl, my wife wanted to call her Sue, which is a lovely name, but which for Jews is generally a verb.
And the winner is Dennis Wolfberg.
Thank you very much. This is very exciting. This is the 3rd time I've been nominated. I was rapidly becoming the Susan Lucci of the comedy industry. I am truly delighted. I am somewhat surprised. I appreciate your support. I am also aware that this kind of acceptance in this business and fame in and of itself is somewhat ephemeral. As I was saying to my driver tonight, Michael Dukakis. But there are some people I'd like to thank. My wife, who told me to thank her if I wanted to avoid sustained periods of celibacy. My parents, my management, and my agent, without whom I would have been here much quicker, I suspect. But you've made me very happy. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
That's the act that won it for him, I guess.
And there's more. In the comedy category, Favorite Comedy Club Stand-Up Female, the nominees are
Ellen Degeneres.
I have fish for pets. That's what I have, goldfish. And I got fish originally for the stress thing. They said if you watch fish, it helps you to relax, to fall asleep, which explains why I always doze off while I'm snorkeling.
Diane Ford.
Do you ever notice how some guys' trunks get a little too loose, and when they sit down, part of them kind of scooches out the leg there? Don't you have a net for that or something?
Kathy Ladman.
I can't sleep. I have such insomnia. I had a nightmare last night, a terrible dream. I dreamt my parents came to visit me. That's it.
Carol Leifer.
Women on first dates never order a lot of food. First date, you're not going to sit there and look like Arnold Ziffel in front of the guy. First date, you're not going to sit there, oh, not finishing yours, dear?
Pam Stone.
And I've never had friends set me up either, man. And when I lived in Georgia, I had girlfriends that would write to prisoners in jail and try to set me. I swear to God, I'd be like, God, Julie, he's a murderer. And she's like, oh, Pam, they never found the head.
And the winner is Ellen Degeneres.
I really had no idea, so whatever Dennis said, that's what I was going to say. Thank you very much to my agents, Michael Green and everybody at the Irvin Arthur Agency. My manager, Terry Daniser, thank you very much for supporting me. My parents, I have a very funny family, so thanks for the inspiration and support. And everybody who voted for me, that was very nice of you. Thanks.
Stay tuned for Betty White, Jonathan Winters, and Steve Martin.
Comedy.
The winner of last year's Lifetime Comedy Achievement Award, Miss Betty White.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'd like to take you all home with me. Matter of fact, I have taken a few of you home with me. Isn't it great to see this kind of a full house here tonight? Isn't that great? Boy, an open bar and a free buffet, it'll get comics out every time, won't it? Winning last year's Lifetime Achievement Award was really a thrill. It was like winning Miss America or Miss Universe. Sure, those girls each get a pretty car and a lot of free cosmetics and a shot on the Rick Dees show. I got a whoopee cushion and a date with Andrew Dice Clay. They both made nothing but obscene sounds. But I think, oh, sorry, Andrew, but I did have a good time. I think one of the best perks was being asked to be judge on Star Search. And I got to see, it was wonderful, I got to see 6 beautiful spokesmodels each say, keep your hands to yourself, Mr. McMahon. This really is a very special award, voted on by over 1,100 actors and actresses, comedians and comediennes, all who work in comedy. And I truly appreciate being so honored this past year. Thank you. It's wonderful. But now I would like to congratulate the male Lifetime Achievement Award honorees this evening. Milton Berle, Johnny Carson, Bob Hope, Dick Van Dyke, and the man who received the most votes for this year's Lifetime Achievement Award, Mr. Jack Lemmon.
You know, over the years, I have been very, very fortunate in receiving a number of prestigious awards, but this is really nothing. No, I'm delighted, and I want to thank all of my peers for voting for me, naturally. I don't know, maybe if I keep on getting some terrific parts, I'll be eligible again in a few years. I don't know, I hope so, but in the meantime, thank you.
And now here is the winner of the very first American Comedy Lifetime Achievement Award for one of the most brilliant and inventive comedy minds of all time, and a really cute fella. Star of the new show, Davis Rules, Mr. Jonathan Winters.
Fantastic, Betty. That outfit got me out of World War II. Her outfit. We're up in this area right now. We'll get him home. I don't care whether you're wondering or not why I didn't wear a tuxedo. I'll tell you why. It doesn't fit me. It's a joy to see so many wonderful faces. A lot of them, of course, I don't know, and a person always comes up, "You don't remember me, do you?" Well, when you've had a series of bad falls, don't. Anyway, I'd like now to get right on with it. I'd now like to boy, I'm really saluting myself for reading this far away. I'd like now to congratulate all the honorees for this year's. Well, there are always a few impediments. This year's, there's no money involved. Why should I worry about articulation? This year's Lifetime Achievement Award, female. And here, Beatrice Arthur, Shirley MacLaine, Penny Marshall, Nancy Walker, and the woman who received the most votes for this year's Lifetime Achievement Award, Miss Doris Day. As you know, Doris lives in Carmel and could not come to the theater tonight. I live in Bakersfield and I couldn't come to the theater tonight. At any rate, she couldn't be with us this evening, and it is unfortunate. I think we all understand. It is, you have to hop on that plane and a lot of, traffic. We're getting a lot of rain up north, so, hey, she's in her home and she's got lots of pets. I'm sure you people realize a lot of dogs and cats, and they stopped her from coming. Congratulations, Doris. Take this to Dover, you fool, and see that the king reads it. Here's a young lady who just won an award for her best stand-up comedian. Ladies and gentlemen, Ellen Degeneres.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Jonathan Winters, for opening for me. I appreciate that. He was terrific. Hand for Jonathan. This is very exciting to be here. Everybody's all dressed up, and all the men are in tuxedos, which everybody always jokes about men in tuxedos. They look like penguins, and I love animals. I love all types of animals, and I guess the reason I do is because our family business, when I was growing up, we had a petting zoo, and well, we had two sections. We had a petting zoo, and then we had a heavy petting zoo, people who really like the animals a lot. That was just right over there, just there. It's more expensive, but it's amazing in nature how everything works together. Everything seems to be here to help each other, to be here for a specific purpose, except for fleas. To me, fleas, they have no beneficial reason at all to be here. And I always thought at times like this, when we can't figure things out for ourselves, wouldn't it be great if we could just pick up the phone and call up God and ask him these things? Just pick up the phone and call up God and... Yeah, hi, God, it's Ellen. Ellen Degeneres. Degeneres. What's so funny? No, I never thought of that. It does sound like that, doesn't it? Yeah, I get it. Yeah, listen, if you weren't too busy... Sure, I'll hold on. Somebody's at the gate. Onward, Christian soul. Yeah, just sing along to your tape. Yeah, it's not a tape. Well, they're good. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, listen, God, there are certain things on this earth I just don't understand why they're here. No, not Charo. No, I didn't mean. No. I was thinking more of insects. No, bees are great. The honey, that was clever. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, no, I was thinking more about fleas. Fleas have no beneficial reason at all to. Mm-hmm. No, I didn't realize how many people were employed by the flea collar industry. Not to mention sprays. Well, I guess you're right. Of course you are. Of course you are. Yeah. Being who you are. Yeah. Oh, you got a little cold. God bless you. Bless yourself. just bless yourself, couldn't you? Still doing that comedy. Uh-huh. Yeah. You got a joke for me. Great. Yeah. No, I'd love to hear it. Yeah. No, I got time. Of course, you know that more than me, huh? Yeah, that was a joke. Go ahead. Who's there? Got who? Got a dime. Oh! Yeah, no, I don't have time for another one. I just remembered an appointment I have to get to, so I gotta go. How about that? Got who? Gotta go. Cute? Stupid. All righty. Okay. Yeah. It was good talking to you, too. And I'll talk to you later. All right, bye-bye. Thanks very much.
Steve Martin, Kirstie Alley, and Mel Brooks, next on the American Comedy Awards. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Martin.
Thank you. Thank you. The Lifetime Creative Achievement Award. What an honor. I'm sure you'll believe me when I say I don't deserve it. But I thank you. Now, what about Carl Reiner? Well, let me get my notes. It says here that Carl and I have made 4 films together. The names of these films escape me for a moment, but of course, I'm high on mushrooms. When I think of Carl Reiner, 2 words come to my mind. Carl and Reiner. I'm going to say something about him now that all the people in this room will know what I'm talking about. Carl knows where the jokes are. Although he is no longer young, he has a young outlook and a young mind. He does, however, have an old weenie. Carl has had major successes in comedy his whole life. He is a kind, creative risk-taker who loves comedy. He has never stolen a joke. He appreciates all kind of humor, from the classic to the avant-garde, and he loves new comedy talent. His sense of humor has not become out of date, ever, and the sweetest thing of all is he is embarrassed to have all these people here tonight to pay tribute to him. Carl Reiner has shown them all. He has persevered through changing times and has come out on top. But I think it was Macaulay Culkin who said it best. When just this morning he said, "No, Mom, you go to your room." Anyone who loves comedy loves Carl, and tonight we are here to honor him for scale. And now, here is a star of Carl Reiner's most recent film, Sibling Rivalry, Miss Kirstie Alley. Kirstie, you've worked with Carl more recently than I have. Has he changed much?
Oh, no, he's wonderful. He's witty and warm and understanding and tasteful.
Well, he has been under a lot of pressure lately, so...
Here are just a few of the reasons why Carl Reiner is tonight's honoree.
All of me. Why not take all of me? Can't you see I'm no good without you? Take my lips. I want to lose them. Take my arms, I'll never use them. You're goodbye left me with eyes that cry.
How could you?
How can I go on, dear, without you? You took the part that once was my heart. So why not take all of me? Why not take all of me?
When I was very young, I used to love to find the muscles that made my face work. I didn't know I was doing that, but I'd stand in front of a mirror and try to make muscles move. You know, when I found out that there's a muscle in my upper lid that I can make work, that was a wonderful discovery. You know, and then I can make both work, which very few people can make both upper lids work like that. So I found that. And then, of course, this one you find very early. You know, that one. People laugh and you say, hey, they're laughing. And when you realize they're laughing with you rather than at you, it's a very great feeling.
The fear of being laughed at was chronicled in his first novel, describing himself as a young, naive actor.
Enter laughing. I trust I haven't kept you waiting too...
Young man, there is a parenthesis around enter laughing. It is a stage direction.
That means I laugh when I enter.
Exactly. Enter laughing.
As Carl's auditioning skills increased, so did his success on stage. But then he got a job he didn't have to audition for, World War II. This son of immigrant parents went off to serve his country in a GI Review. After the war, it was on to Broadway and into television with a break of a lifetime as Sid Caesar's straight man.
Sid Caesar is the guy that every comedian and writer wanted to work with and for.
You recognize this voice, Al?
Here's their famous parody of This Is Your Life.
Encourage you. I helped you in those desperate years when you needed help.
Uncle Goofy!
They're certainly happy to see each other, aren't they? Now, just sit down here, Al. And we'll get on with you.
On your show of shows, Carl met Mel Brooks and the 2,000-year-old man was created.
For instance, a simple word like cheese. Where did that come from?
Cheese is a lovely story, how we get the word cheese in our vernacular. In the year 28 there was an old farmer, and a gentleman came to his land and said, I'm so thirsty, may I have a little dipper milk? And he said, certainly, go over to the barrel. He not knowing that the barrel of milk had soured, see? So this poor beggar man came to the barrel and opened up from the top and looked in and looked down and went, cheese!
The Dick Van Dyke Show.
Carl's experience in television inspired him to write a memorable sitcom with an even more memorable opening.
I was in the writer's room for 9 years and contributed as a writer. And I said, let's do something every week that the audience say, is he going to fall this week? So the second year, I said, let's film one where he falls over the ottoman and one where he walks around it. And we'll interchange them every week. And I used to call it my Hey May. If a guy was sitting alone in the living room and you did something in the first 10 seconds or 15, half minute of the first thing where he said, hey, May, drop the dishes, come in here. You got to see what these goofy guys are doing.
I wanted to buy you an important present.
Where did you ever get an idea like that?
From my mother.
Your mother?
She saved for years. And then on their 25th wedding anniversary, she bought my father a big, important present.
Well, what did she get him?
His own room.
His writing. I said to Mary once, Fontana and Lunt couldn't have had any more fun doing Noah Coward than we had doing Carl's dialogue. It was amazing to go to work every day and do this stuff.
Carl Reiner was responsible for my learning the art of comedy. I mean, let's face it, the writers were writing for Dick Van Dyke, Rosemarie, Maury Amsterdam, and occasionally for Carl himself. I had to fight for my life. Do you know how hard it is to get laughs with, "Gee, Rob," or "You're home late again, Rob"?
Rob, how could you? Not out of the bottle, Rob. Oh, Rob, Sally.
As to tonight's honor for Carl, I can only say it's long overdue. Carl, we all love you.
After his incredible success in television, it was on to the movies, where he worked with such giants as George Burns, John Candy, Lily Tomlin, and Steve Martin. In the movie All of Me, Lily's ghost controls the right side of Steve's body.
Oh, geez. I can't move my right leg. I'm paralyzed.
Here, let me try. We obviously have neutral control over our body.
Our body? It's my body. I'm not sharing my body with anyone.
Everybody's going to be real disappointed.
Where are we going?
Got to find Procalasa.
I can't go in there. Skylar will think I'm...
Excuse me, this is a private conversation. Do you mind?
No!
Please, just do as I say.
Oh!
Now throw them good and hard so they'll stick.
What makes me laugh? Always the surprise of something that you didn't expect.
When Carl got tired of abusing me, he went on to share his comic genius with Kirsty, who played a cheating wife in sibling rivalry.
I have to go out of me.
Where?
Somebody found my wallet. They're at the grocery store waiting. Picket. Would you get that, please? Good.
I want to make movies with Kirstie Alley for the rest of my life. I like to do a series of movies.
I would say she's going to be the comedian of this decade. I say she combines all the best elements of every comedian I've ever seen. She's got a humanity to her, a realness that absolutely melts you. And then when she gets in trouble, you really feel for her.
I know. I must have been too powerful for him. He had himself a heart attack. While you were... After. I think it was after. Oh, I hope it was after. Ew. With all of his many talents, he has only one goal, and that is to entertain the audience.
I think all an audience has to do is come into the theater, sit back, get their popcorn, get their medium-sized drink, because you don't need a full-size drink, unless you're getting a big thing of pop. If you're getting a big, garbage can barrel of popcorn, then you need a large-size drink. But that's all you need.
Okay, well, that's all I need. And this remote control, the ashtray, the paddle game, and the remote control, that's all I need. And these matches. The ashtray, and these matches, and the remote control, and the paddle ball. This lamp. The ashtray, this paddle game, and the remote control, and the lamp, and that's all I need. And that's all I need, too. I don't need one other thing. Not one. I need this. The paddle game and the chair, for the remote control, and the matches, for sure.
And now, here's the one man Carl knows he can always hit on for a job, his son, Rob Reiner.
Thank you. I'm going to say just a few words about my pop, who I love very much. This is a Lifetime Creative Achievement Award, so part of the creative achievement is his son Lucas and his daughter Annie and myself. These are creative achievements. Maybe not as funny as that Steve Martin thing, but sometimes funny. He has given me, aside from life, all of my values, not just in my work, but in how I live my life as a person on this planet. He is one of the most decent people you will ever meet. He's got just wonderful attitudes that he's imparted on not only me, but his other children. And hopefully, I think we're living fairly decent lives because of him, and also my mother. But we're not honoring my mother tonight. If we were to do that, then I would say just as nice things about her. I did give her a good line in a film, When Harry Met Sally. I'll have what she's having. So obviously, I think a great deal of her. But tonight is for my Pop, and I love him dearly, and I'm very happy to be here, Pop. And what else can I say? Give me a big hug and a kiss.
You know, that was so amazing because Carl and Rob have not spoken for 22 years. No salute to Carl Reiner or his career would be complete without a few words from his illegitimate son, Mel Brooks.
I'm all right. I'm all right. Well, let's tell the truth, huh? The truth is, ladies and Jews, you know the truth. The truth is, I don't know if he deserves this, do you? A lot of people don't agree with this. I'd like to cut right now. Cut outside and see the demonstration against Carl Reiner. Go, cut out. Have you got the tape? Cut outside now. Let's see the truth. Damn it, let's see it. Where's the tape? Where, Ross? Where is it? Look, look. Look, that's the truth. That's what's really happening here. And wait a minute, and now, while we're telling the truth, let's tell it all. For 25 years, he made me out to be to be this Jewish person. And there was money in it, and I went along with it. Hold it. And now, tonight, here, in this stupid place, I'm gonna reveal I am really a Gentile born in Waco, Texas. This is not my nose. Look carefully. Watch me. This is 25 years I'm wearing this nose. I've put up with this. And now, damn it, I can talk the way I always talk when I lived in Waco. I don't have to do that Jew talk no more. I love you. I love you. That's the best. That's the best I've ever seen. It was worth it. It was worth it. Oh, God.
All right. In the TV guide, it will say, Mel Brooks takes off his nose. Kirsty. Steve. I just can't take the mister anymore. Who is this year's American Comedy Awards choice for Lifetime Achievement?
Oh, God, Steve. Oh, it's Carl Reiner!
Oh, my God.
This is for you. Oh, thank you.
Get your award.
Oh, God. I have never laughed so hard in the last month. About 5 years ago, George Slaughter told me about this idea for a comedy award. I thought, and he told you in the warm-up, that had told him many times that it's the stupidest idea for an award I've ever seen, because comedians are supposed to make fun of awards. We're not supposed to take it seriously. But I think, not because I got this award, but I think this is the greatest awards show in the history of Hollywood. Never will there be another one like it. Never. And Mel, and why, I want to say now why Mel Brooks is, I consider, the funniest man I know personally. Steve, no offense intended. Well, we've talked about this together. Mel took the absolute truth, the deep-seated anger that he had in him to have to come out here and pay homage to somebody who's not as talented as he. He got furious. And by the way, next year they're going to offer to Mel, and I don't know how you're going to turn it down. And if you, and I'll come and chew you up. But Mel, that was worth the whole price of admission for me. And lastly, but not leastly, this is so easy. I can get the biggest award, applause just by saying Estelle Reiner, married to this beautiful, wonderful, talented woman who is really the base for all the talent in my family and among the kids, not me. She had nothing to do with my talent. Estelle Reiner, a 47-year marriage. Thank you very much, everybody.
We'll be back with John Lovitz, Tim Conway, Harvey Korman, and Lily Tomlin.
Comedy.
Ladies and gentlemen, John Lovitz.
Thank you. What a town, what a crowd, what a town, what a crowd. And have you seen the town? It's crowded. Thank you. What is a thespian? A lesbian with a lisp? I think not. Thank you. To be or not to be? That is the question. Thank you. Do I enjoy the sound of my own voice? I think not. Thank you. Before I continue, I feel you should know that beneath this clothing, I am as nude as a bee. Thank you. In the category Funniest Supporting Male Television, the nominees are, from Saturday Night Live, Dana Carvey.
If we do go to war, I can assure you it will not be another Vietnam, because we have learned, well, the simple lesson of Vietnam: stay out of Vietnam.
From Cheers, Woody Harrelson.
Miss Howe, I couldn't find your garter in your car, but I did find these jumper cables. They may not look so great, but they'll probably hold up your stockings.
From Night Court, John Larroquette.
They were hoisting a baby Grant up to the second floor just as Phil was walking under. The rope snapped and boom. The key was sharp. Phil was flat.
From the famous Teddy Z, Alex Rocco.
So that's how you get clients. You pull them out of the car and you punch them in the stomach. Sure, I've been doing it all wrong. I take them to lunch and then like an idiot, I don't even hit them. What the hell have I been thinking about?
From In Living Color, Damon Wayans.
Open up all your presents while the rest of us stay here empty-handed watching you have fun, huh? Yeah! I don't think so. Oh, we don't play that.
And the winner is... Whoa! For the third year in a row, Dana Carvey!
Oh, God, is this a funny evening or is it just me? Oh, my God, I was sitting back there next to Mel Brooks and I was saying to my wife, my God, look at his nose. It's gross. It looks like it's made of putty, the poor man. Oh, my God. Then he ripped it off, and it was, oh. Well, I used to think that award shows were ridiculous, especially for comedians. We shouldn't compete, but I do think it's a good idea now, and we should do it more often. I am in agreement with Carl Reiner there. I'm really very flattered. I can't believe I've won this 3 years in a row, and I'm actually thinking of making this into a party hat, just something to do.
Keep going.
Okay. I hope that I represent America well, winning the Funniest Supporting Male Comedian Award. I hope I represent us well next month in Puerto Rico at the Funniest Supporting Male in the Universe pageant. I know what you're thinking. The Argentinians will be tough. They're always tough. And I hear there's a Moroccan who does a brilliant Jack Nicholson. You have to see it to believe it. But I really hope to bring home the title. It's pretty good. Thank you. Thank you. I got to thank Brad Gray of the Brillstein Company and the entire Brillstein Company. I'd like to thank Lorne Michaels, our esteemed producer at Saturday Night Live, Jim Downey, the cast and former cast members of the show, and all the writers, my lovely wife Paula, who puts up with me my entire life saying things like, do you think this is funny? Do you think this will work? Anyway, thank you very much, and I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Direct from Washington, D.C., the wit of PBS, Mark Russell.
Thank you very much as we meet in this big, glitzy Hollywood auditorium, which is what savings and loans used to look like. We ask, where are the missing comedy awards tonight? Where is the comedy award for the network television news departments, which last year decided to run the X-rated Madonna video, which was banned by MTV? There was Madonna on Nightline, writhing back and forth with her multiple partners. As Ted Koppel said, these are not the positions of ABC's management. Where was the comedy award for Saddam Hussein? When the war ended, in his heart, he really thought that he had won. And he prepared to hold history's first underground ticker tape parade. Where's the award for the Iraqi Air Force, which recently tied Eastern Airlines in on-time departures? Where's the award for one of my heroes, former Surgeon General C. Everett Koop? Millions of Americans are alive today because of him. They are non-drinking, non-smoking, sexually responsible people. They all live in Utah, but at least they're alive. Hard to believe that years ago, C. Everett Koop was once a 3-pack-a-day man, and that is a lot of condoms, you will agree. And so in the spirit of this evening, ladies and gentlemen, I say keep comedy alive, and we can do that by supporting our federal government. Thank you very much, and Godspeed.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Harvey Korman.
It's traditional that on award shows, the rules be read by someone of integrity, honesty, importance, and above all, stature. No one with these qualifications is with us this evening, so here to read the rules is my friend, Dorf.
Sorry.
Mr. Dorf, nice to see you, sir.
Very much. Thank you.
I understand that you are prepared to read the rules.
That is correct. I have been out there in the hall, out there vocalizing and exercising. You don't just come out here and read those things without having your wind about you. An opportunity to kind of get in your exercises while you're out there. I don't have the music that goes with them, but
I see.
Merely
Very good. So you're all limbered up.
Stretch out. That's important.
That's very good.
Touch your toes is good. Anything of that nature.
Do you need to vocalize or anything?
No, I think that I have.
Ready to go?
Ready to go.
All right. How about reading these rules? Right. Read the rules, and we're pressed for time, so keep it short.
Really? Mm-hmm. Is or is that not some kind of a shot at shortness?
Oh, no, sir. We're under a little pressure, however.
Okay. Little? Mm-hmm. Is that another barb?
Oh, no, my dear fellow. That was not little in reference to that. I mean, anyway, it was just a small mistake.
Small? That's 3 zingers in a row here for us. You know what I mean? Here.
Why don't you just get on with it and read the rules? Here we go.
All right,
having a little trouble.
The light seems to be
There we go. How about that right there?
Well,
huh?
here.
I can't.
Is
that better?
You just here. I'll get it. That's not the very
Can you see it clearly?
Thing that you do. Do me.
Can I help you?
I can get it. Don't worry about that.
Ah, very clever.
Here, just...
Let's get on with it, please.
Yes.
Just want to read the rules.
Yeah, I'll do this. You, I get the belt back on to my pants if you don't. Here, you take that.
Let's get on with it.
Here, I can read. I can't see the light is on.
Here, why don't you need a little shade? Why don't I read the rules, ladies and gentlemen?
Is this another short joke here? What is it?
Suggestions were selected from the network, cable companies, agents, managers, hookers, bookers, and performers. From that list, our 1,100 comedians, actors, and actresses suggested 5 nominees and voted on tonight's winners in each category for performances within the calendar year of 1990. The ballots were sent out and counted by the prestigious firm of Price Waterhouse.
That's not true either. There were 3 people here. 2 of them weren't even working. We voted. The other
So
guy...
tonight we are pleased to present awards in 14 categories to some of the most outstanding performers working in comedy.
There's no outstanding performers in comedy anymore. How do I get out of here? Hey!
Stay tuned for Downtown Julie Brown, Lily Tomlin, Will Smith, and Malcolm Jamal Warner. Ladies and gentlemen, the prettiest part of Saturday Night Live, Victoria Jackson.
I'm tired of being a good girl. I'm tired of squeaky clean. I'm tired of being kind and polite and never being mean. I'm tired of my pleated skirts and sensible attire. I want to wrestle in the mud and dance till I perspire. I'm tired of getting straight A's and winning your respect. I want a staple in my tummy and a snake around my neck. I'm tired of my knee socks. I want a bike between my legs. I'm tired of baking cookies and painting Easter eggs. I'm tired of staying inside. I want to come out and play. I used to be a Girl Scout, but that was yesterday. I want to be a slut. I want to be a slut. I'm tired of doing homework and sit-ups round the clock. I want to hang out with the homeboys and skeezers on my block. I'm tired of this baby voice.
I want to talk like this.
Who wants to be Norwegian? I want to look like Kiss. I don't want to be predictable. It's time to shake 'em up a lot. I want to drive my mother crazy and date a guy named Snot. Expressive makeup on my face, purple panties made of lace, fishnet stockings, stiletto heels. These are all my new ideals. I want to be a slut! Everybody, a slut! Woo! Why do I have to leave the room just to pass some gas? I'm a fly girl on a mission! I want to be a slut! A slut! It's just a joke!
Ladies and gentlemen, here's one of tonight's earlier winners, Lily Tomlin.
Coming up now is the most hotly contested category of the evening. Funniest male performer in a television special. Was it just me, or were the melon balls at the buffet table a little bit smaller this year? Just breaking the tension. After that last number. In the category Funniest Male Performer in a Television Special, the nominees are from Comic Relief 4, Billy Crystal.
Did I lose me? Hello, good. What is when I... Hey, what? Ooh, you know, Linda, time...
From Comic Relief 4, Robin Williams.
Thank you very much for staying. I'm sorry, I'm dyslexic. I was the only kid at Halloween to go, hi, trick or trout.
And from his traveling road show, Jonathan Winters.
When I press you, say something.
Okay, yeah.
Good. Even more.
From The Tonight Show's 28th anniversary, Jay Leno. From 8th anniversary special, David Letterman. And the winner is Jonathan Winters and his traveling roadshow.
Thank you. Well, that's a good start. When I was away, and the reason I say that is because many people on both sides of my family were away at one time and another. They were in the same state, but they were away. I was thinking when I looked at this face of laughter, in therapy we would say to ourselves, how could we get this out? I remember Carl was up here just a few minutes ago and his son making remarks about him, his father. My family have really kept me going in more ways than one. They've been strong, unbelievable supporters. But I think seriously, aside from them, and they were always there, was my sense of humor. I think a sense of humor is the most effective weapon we have. Unfortunately, not everybody has a sense of humor. Seriously, you know, when you say, and we use this word only at these, to my knowledge, these specific get-togethers, your peers. I've never really known who my peers are, but whoever you are, I thank you. And this does mean a lot. I don't have a lot of awards. I've got a lot of odd things in my room. I don't have one other one. I have a life achievement, so I don't want to use that trite thing about bookends. I'll just put them together and hope that it'll always be just that. And thank you so much to each and every one of you. You people work hard, and it's been a tremendous year. It'll be a better year. I can't predict beyond that. You're going to make some money. I've got $1,200 almost on me. So good luck to you, and thanks so much. It's been great.
Here are the young stars from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and The Cosby Show, Will Smith and Malcolm Jamal Warner.
We must say that it's really a thrill to be here with so many great comedians. This is truly an honor for the both of us.
Why don't you tell them why we're really here, man? See, look, we were on our way to the party machine and Bonehead made a wrong left turn.
The other reason we're here is to talk about the changes in TV comedy since we were born.
Well, see, back then, you sure wouldn't see black performers doing stuff like they do every week on In Living Color.
Once upon a time, Homie the Clown went to a fancy white restaurant. Shea Whitey was the name. As always, Homie gets hassled by the man. He tells him that a tie is required in order to eat in this establishment. So Homie says, man, get them damn ties out of my face before I kick your ass.
Who says you gotta be in film to get an Oscar? Not anymore. That's right. Use any sharp object to engrave your name here, bam. Then put it on the shelf, bip, the hood of your car, or be the envy of your neighborhood by wearing this as a funky freshman.
Tune in next week when we'll be back in the good old US of A, reviewing the new release, Memphis Belle.
It's the story of 10 young men in leather jackets, all sweaty, standing next to each other, and them long, hard bombs crammed together in a little old cockpit. Well, grease my landing gear. I'm coming in for a landing.
Now, those scenes are from In Living Color, a show with tremendous impact. But we know that shows like we do every week could not have been possible without some of the wonderful performers who came before us.
See, in the early days, black people only appeared in roles like waiters and shoe shine boys, and they were given lines to say like,
Feet, do your stuff.
and
I ain't birthing no babies.
and who? I ain't going through that graveyard, Mr. Chan. And you mean to tell me diamonds is worthless?
That line, of course, was spoken in a show called Amos and Andy, which was loved by millions of people, but was so controversial that it was taken off the air, and no stills or clips have ever been allowed to be shown for the past 30 years.
The next time that an all-black cast appeared on network television was in 1972 when Red Fox starred in Sanford and Son.
I'm Jewish. You hear that, Elizabeth? Elizabeth, honey, I'm Jewish. This is it. This is a big one. I'm coming to join you, honey. I'll be the one with the chicken soup and the matzo ball.
Finally, the door was open, and a number of other artists followed. But now, they were no longer reduced to solely subservient roles.
Neighbor, would you be mine? Could you be mine? I hope I get to move in your neighborhood someday. The problem is when I move in, y'all move away. My name is Geraldine. Yeah. I'm what you call an angel of mercy. I am a living example of what America is today.
You sure are, child. Your hair's in recession and your mouth's inflated.
Never forget, one night I was on one of those nationwide television talk shows, right? So I mentioned the fact on the show. I don't know why the government bugs my phone. And the guy got very uptight. He says, Dick Gregory, I defy you to get on a nationwide television show and accuse the United States government of bugging your phone. What evidence do you have? I say, anytime a black cat in America can owe Bell Telephone $12,000 and they don't cut the phone off, it's tapped.
Loretta's an attractive woman. And I was scared. Well, that you'd give in to temptation. And that I'd have to kill you.
Denise told you, right?
Told me what?
About this.
Is that a decal?
No.
Have you been tagged by the Wildlife Society?
Did you enjoy the trip?
Oh, yo, the plane ride was stupid. I was up in first class.
Excuse me?
No, I'm saying the plane was dope.
Excuse me? No, stupid, dope. Oh, no, that doesn't mean what you... how would he...
The flight was really neat.
Yeah, you know something? You did something to me once when we were kids that has made me hate you for the past 40 years. That's right. You remember the snake incident? Huh? Yeah? Well, you scarred me for life. That's right. But it's okay now. I'm cured. That's right. You know what? Right now, I'm in a room with a 7-foot snake. Do we need white chocolate? I mean, my people don't have much. You know, don't take chocolate and make it white.
I don't think so. Homie, don't play that.
Well, it's a long way from feats do your stuff to homie don't play that, and we would like to thank all those people whose efforts gave us the freedom to do the shows that we do today.
Ladies and gentlemen, the star of Into the Night, Rick Dees.
Thank you. Thank you. Macaulay Culkin's back there. We want to make sure to thank all the little people for his award tonight, too. So, Macaulay, right now I'd like to bring on a lady, a great female stand-up comedian in her time, of course. Raquel Welch is here tonight. And
Hello.
Rip, you're not Raquel Welch, so.
You're not Regis Philbin either. I didn't want to talk about it right now, though. Is it on? Thank you so much. Oh, got this from a hind leg of a dog. I go by a tree and this whole side goes up in the air. Can't you hear me at all on this side? Thank you. But never mind, just keep going.
Miss Welch ready?
She'll be fun. I told you I got 3 jokes to fill in the space.
Do the 3 jokes.
Look at the celebrities here. There's Ben Vereen's cousin Wolverine. Hi, Will. How are you? There's Larry Holmes' mother Mobile. Hi, Mob.
Can we introduce this lady, please?
Well, bring her on. I'm not stopping you. Hurry up, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, Raquel Welch.
Oh, beautiful.
Thank you. And when I was asked to do the show, I didn't have a clue who my co-presenter might be. But I was hoping, of course, for one of Hollywood's hottest leading men. And I sure wasn't disappointed. Ladies and gentlemen, the star of Home Alone, Macaulay Culkin.
Welch.
Well, congratulations, Macaulay, on this big award you've won tonight. My goodness, I mean, the funniest leading man in a motion picture.
Why, thank you, Miss Welch.
Macaulay, gee, before we go a little further into the program, I wonder if you could just do that thing for me, just one time, please.
Okay, Rack, just for you.
Shall we do these awards here? Shall we present them?
In the category of funniest sporting female television, the nominees are...
From Newhart, Julia Duffy.
I forbid you to take the birth of our baby.
Why?
There is a slim chance I won't look beautiful when I'm in labor.
From Murphy Brown, Faith Ford.
We were so busy on our honeymoon, we hardly ever left the hotel room. Busy, busy, busy. Oh, Murphy, I hope you get busy soon.
From the Golden Girls, Estelle Getty.
Some call me Sophia, others know me as the Terminator. I'm from Sicily. You know what the #1 export of our village is? Ransom notes.
From the Tracy Ullman Show, Julie Kavner.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. I just wanted to tell you that I'm going to kill myself. And you're only partially to blame.
From Cheers, Rhea Perlman.
I'm writing in this letter while lying naked on my kitchen table. Whoa! Well, there's a lot more depth to me than just being a waitress, you know.
And the winner is... Estelle Getty, the Golden Girls.
I really needed this spot with Raquel Welch and the shortest kid in the place. I accept this with great pride and joy, and a couple of questions. The pride and joy, of course, is self-evident and self-explanatory. The fears that I have about this are, will I be able to get up the steps? Will I be able to see over the podium? Will either B, Betty, or Rue come up here and hold my hand? I must say that if you stay in this business long enough, you get to win a few awards, and I've won a couple of them. But I'm really, really proud of this one because it comes from the peers. It comes from people who know comedy, and that's a big, big thrill. And I want to thank everyone connected with it, all the people I work with, and especially to my beloved Dorothy, and Rose and Blanche, Beatha, Betty White, and Rue McClanahan. Thank you all so much.
And now, in the category of funniest female performer in a television series, the nominees are...
From Cheers, Christy Alley.
I want you to get ready for the most exciting night of your life.
From Murphy Brown, Candace Bergen.
You can tell that you're uncomfortable holding him, and he's reacting to that.
I can't hear you. Why is he crying like that?
He wants to be breastfed.
Oh, God.
From Married with Children, Katie Segal.
Did you miss me?
With every bullet so far.
Well, maybe you need a bigger gun, sweetheart. Not that I don't love your itty-bitty one.
From the Tracy Ullman Show, Tracy Ullman.
Ray Million.
Jeez. When you became a proctologist, you certainly stuck in your thumb and pulled out a plum.
From the Golden Girls, Betty White.
I'm singing in the rain. You're in a good mood, Rose. Is someone expecting her special visitor tonight? Oh, don't be silly, Blanche. I haven't had my special visitor in years.
And the winner is... The winner is Tracy Ullman from the Tracy Ullman Show.
Hello, everybody. I'm doing another classic. I'm sorry I can't be with you tonight, but thank you very, very much for my funniest female performer in a comedy series. Let's face it, I'm the funniest female performer without a comedy series now, but with a Broadway show and a child in gestation, just here. And George Slaughter, can you think of an award for me next year? Maybe Best Comedy Breastfeeding, something funny like that? Well, I'm very thrilled to have Mr. Vincent Sardi to present me with this year's Comedy Award.
And congratulations, Miss Sullivan.
Oh, thanks very much, Mr. Sardi.
You're welcome.
Put it in a doggy bag. I'll take it for later, all right? Thanks very much. We'll take a bit of salad.
Yes, ma'am.
Being pregnant, you're just starving all the time. It's unbelievable. Oh, this little devil, he's so hungry. She, God knows what it is. Comedy!
Ladies and gentlemen, here's Gilbert Gottfried's favorite comic, Gilbert Gottfried.
Thank you. Thank God this show finally started. I've been downstairs underneath the stage for the past 4 hours. It's like all of you are eating and having champagne, and I'm watching two rats have sex. And over and over and over again, oh, the stamina that they have. It's so degrading to watch it just over and over. It's two rats. I mean, me, if I have sex, it's like 4 minutes. And that includes dinner and a show. Let me get this off my chest now that I'm here. I didn't like the movie Deliverance. Okay, there I said it. I thought those hillbillies were too stupid. What made them pick Ned Beatty? Out of all the guys they could have molested, they had to molest Ned Beatty. I mean, you figure you have Burt Reynolds there, and you have John Voight. Now, I mean, I'm straight, but if Burt Reynolds and John Voight showed up in my house, I'd lock the door. It would be over for them. And I wonder how long it took them to get Ned Beatty out of his trailer that morning. Like, Ned, come on, the scene's starting. And Ned's there going, excuse me, what happened to pages 63 and 64? And they're going, don't worry about that. It'll be a surprise. Well, I'm really hoping for 63 and 64. I want to look at it if you don't mind. I'll tell you, originally they had, Charles Durning doing that part. but the thing is, he saw pages 63 and 64. They showed it to Burt Reynolds. He said, "Oh, I don't know, I'm kind of tired. Give it to Ned." Then they showed it to John Boyd. He said, "Well, I'd like to, but I gotta brush my teeth." Give it to Ned. He'd like it. You know, backstage, they were telling all of us to keep our speeches short. But I've been waiting downstairs too long.
The American Comedy Awards will be right back after these messages.
And I don't even like the show so far.
Are you having trouble sleeping at night? Does sleep seem inconceivable? Does time stand still while you...
Hit one, hurl two.
Why stay up all night when you can sleep like a baby?
Checkmate.
Try new pleasant-tasting Lights Out, the antidote for a peaceful night's rest. Why have a sleepless night when there's an easy cure? New non-addictive Lights Out for a peaceful
Yeah,
sleep.
wonder why they cut me off so quick. Maybe they want to do that Jamie Farr retrospect, or that the films of Gary Coleman. That has to be it. I know that's it. You know, I wonder if they asked Ed Asner to do Deliverance. They probably said, "Ed, no pages 63 and 64, but could you come forward and go, wee, wee, wee?" And Ed said, "What is that? What am I, a mouse or something? Wee! Yeah, just do that, Ed."
Gilbert
Believe me, it's a good
Gottfried
part.
just keeps whining and whining and whining and whining and whining. Ladies and gentlemen, from Night Court, Marky Post and Marcia Warfield.
Ain't this a bitch? First of all, they make us wait 3.5 hours into the show when all the good jokes have been taken. Second, I am not now, nor have I ever been nominated for any one of these awards. I wasn't even mentioned in the Best Negro spot. And third, we've been working with each other over 5 days a week for 7 months a year for the last 5 years, and who do they put together? You and me.
Marcia, don't you understand? That's what they do on award shows. They try to pair up people who have something in common.
Then pair me up with Denzel Washington.
Okay, Marcia, why don't we just present the award?
I'd like to present an award to Denzel Washington.
In the category of funniest male performer in a television series lead, the nominees are...
From Cheers, Ted Danson.
I'm sorry, I won't do this.
Why?
First of all, you've been drinking a little bit, and, you know, a gentleman has rules. And second, you're kind of repulsive right now.
From Roseanne, John Goodman.
What?
Well, you have more noodles than I do.
I do not.
Yes, you do. You've just given me chicken water.
From Married with Children, Ed O'Neill.
After you, my dear.
You are too tired to fix the doorbell, and yet you can go move her couch?
Yeah.
From In Living Color, Keenan Ivory Wayans.
I'm a friend of Bennett's. My name is Leonard, but everybody calls me Frenchie.
Oh, why is that?
I took French in 11th grade. And I love to kiss that way.
From The Tonight Show, Jay Leno.
And the winner is... Ted Danson in Cheers.
Oh, hi. Thank you very much for this award. It means a great deal to me. I'm honored. Thank you. I'm sorry that I couldn't be there in person, but I have another award show to go to. Oh, by the way, is this waterproof? Does anyone know? Oh, never mind. Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, from MTV, Downtown Julie Brown.
Well, the producer tonight, George Schlatter, I'd hoped to have a little bit of British humor on the show tonight. People like John Cleese or Eric Idle, Dudley Moore, Benny Hill. Well, to make a long story short, they were all unavailable. And it came down between me and Margaret Thatcher. And so the producer, George, said, get the funny one. So unfortunately, Margaret Thatcher couldn't be here tonight, so I am instead. In the category of funniest actress in a motion picture The nominees are from Alice, Mia Farrow. From Green Card, Andy McDowell. From Pretty Woman, Julia Roberts. From Postcards, From the Edge, Meryl Streep. From I Love You to Death, Tracy Ullman. The winner is Meryl Streep in Postcards from the Edge. Unfortunately, Meryl Streep couldn't be with us tonight, so I accept the award on her behalf, and she's not getting it back. She's got far too many.
Get the nose on this guy. If the boaters ever sneezed together, we'd have Hurricane Hannah. We're a little bit late, folks. Good night.
We hope you had as much fun as we did tonight, right, Jaleel?
Right.
So until next year, good night.
Continental is pleased to have provided transportation to Los Angeles. Whether taking off for a spring vacation or a romantic getaway, Continental, because one airline can make a difference. Accommodations provided by Hyatt Hotels and Resorts, featuring the Hyatt on Sunset, located along the electrifying Sunset Boulevard. Feel the Hyatt touch in Hollywood. The 5th Annual American Comedy Awards. Brought to you by Dodge for performance, quality, safety, and value. Welcome home, America. And by Taco Bell. Run for the border. Also winning comedy awards tonight were Al Pacino for Funniest Supporting Male in a Motion Picture and Whoopi Goldberg for Funniest Supporting Female in a Motion Picture. Some of tonight's winners were notified in advance.